Would you like to immortalize yourself or your friends as a hideous balloon? Then you have come to the right tutorial. I had the pleasure of helping out with the Mystery Hermit event in the amazing charity event last weekend. And to decorate the place, I built these balloons, one for every active hermit. And the process was quite simple, so I figured I'd show you how they are made. Now, if we take Zedaph as an example here, the way that I build these balloons is I actually start with a sphere that goes all the way around here, and then I chop off the bottom of the sphere and kind of extend diagonally down. That is basically how all of these balloons work, and then I swap the blocks out for the balloons without changing any of the shapes. So, for example, this balloon might actually look better if we have the eyes in line, and then this is more like a nose, but then you've slightly changed and twisted the balloon shape, and I would rather this just look like, painted balloons or, decorated balloons. So even though that's a little bit more cursed and a little bit weirder, it's my preferred way of doing things. Now, to start with, we need to build the sphere, and for this, I use a website to help me. So this here is the Plots website, specifically the sphere shape, and I'll link to this in the description. The way that I've got it at the moment is a width of 12. Now, I think the logic of how I do this works for any number. You could make a really big balloon if you wanted to. If you are doing a character face, like someone's Minecraft skin, you probably want an even number because a face is 8 pixels wide. And on this website, what you can do is you can bring down the different layers. So you see here, we've got this kind of bottom section here. I'm thinking we maybe start with this section. So we'll chop off that bottom, we'll start with this section, and then below here is where we will kind of taper off towards where the basket is. So I'm now going to build this just layer by layer. I'll replay mod it, and then we'll take a look afterwards. And there we go. So this is that sphere that we looked at, but with the bottom 2 layers missing. And now we've kind of got this underneath part here. So now what I want to do is bring this slowly down. So come in slightly, and I don't really have a good process for this. I just kind of eyeball it. So I can see on these sides, we could go 2 instead of 4 blocks. And then maybe we just bring this in like this on all 4 sides. We can see that it's slightly coming in here. And then maybe we do something like this on all 4 sides, and we keep the diagonals where they are. So I guess in some sense, sometimes I bring in the sides and sometimes I bring in the diagonals, I guess. So like here, would that be too much? No, I think that looks good. And then we want to bring in the side fully and keep yeah, we'll do a square like this. And then we'll bring in the diagonals. And then we'll do the square again. And you see you kind of get into that rhythm of how to do each part. And now this looks like where we would want the basket below. So if I zoom out here, this looks like quite a good balloon shape. Maybe it comes down a little bit too much. I'm not too sure, but no, I think that looks quite good. If you are building this in survival, do remember to light up the inside, because the last thing you want to do is drop a creeper on someone from your balloon. Unless that's your style of play, in which case, each to their own. Now for the basket, let's do the basket fully in oak first of all, because a lot of the blocks that we choose we can swap out for other blocks. But I'm going to use the stripped wood, planks, the fence, the trapdoors, and I think it's important to use a trapdoor that has a hole in it. And the reason for that is we want to be able to see the campfire through it. So first of all, we will put campfires directly into the balloon itself, and then we will cover those in trapdoors. And because they have quite a strong bottom texture, we can also use trapdoors there. And now if we bring down with 4 fences in each of these corners, we can now build the basket. And for this, I like to just do it 3 blocks deep. So we use the stripped for the sides, and then we fill everything else in with planks. And then we'll do a plank floor as well. And the last touch, we can put fences in here to keep everybody safe. And there we go, we have a basket. Now looking at some of these other balloons, it looks like for these I did kind of taper a little sooner than we've tapered here, but I think it can work either way. You'll have to let me know which balloon you think looks the best. But now, how do we actually put a face on this, and how do we decorate it? So if we look at the front here, this is actually 8 blocks wide. So we technically have a square here from these corners, which can represent the player's face. So for this one, I think we'll try and do my face on here. I've got quite a simple face, so hopefully it won't be too difficult to do. Now, if you do look at my face, my eyes are slightly lower than the center of my face, and my eyebrows slightly above, and my mouth is 1 block above the bottom. So that would mean that my eyes are here. And then the eyebrows would be above that. And the mouth would be down here. And we can already see a face taking shape. Now my hair kind of goes down at the back. So if we think about that in the balloon, this level here is the bottom of the face. So technically round the back here would be the bottom of the hair. However, I think you can also kind of extend the hair down as well, just to imagine that the hair would be going down the player's back a little bit. But that's the choice you can make. So from there, we can imagine the hair kind of wrapping around. It's hard to kind of get a side-on view of my own face, but do you see how the sides kind of just go up in a diagonal? That is what we'll replicate here. We'll just bring the brown up here, and then the hair at the front is 1 above the eyebrow here. But then it goes above in the middle. So that will be the start of the hairline. And that's basically it. It's just a case of replacing the blocks. If you are building this in survival, I'd recommend using a block that's easy to break, first of all, to get the shape down like dirt. And then you're just going through and swapping out the blocks. But yeah, I will finish this up. I will choose a skin colour as well, probably white terracotta. And then we'll see the finished thing. And there we go. Here it is in all its glory. Now, can you spot the difference? Now, I do think the longer bit at the bottom does make it slightly more horrific to look at, like a really stretched neck. But is that a bad thing when you're already making something kind of cursed? Now, one last touch that I'd like to do is swap out the basket. So what I did for some of the Hermit balloons is I themed their basket around their skin. So if you think, the balloon itself is the player's head, then the basket can be the kind of bit underneath the head. And for me, I have two very useful colours here, the pink and the yellow in the bow tie. And we have a pink and a yellow wood type. So first of all, if we look at the trapdoors, we want one which is see-through. So I think the pink will look nice with the campfire behind it. And then we will use mainly the cherry wood. But then I think we will have bamboo fences. So we've got a little bit of yellow in there, but mostly pink. And there we go. I think that's a nice touch. Now, I brought Zedaph's balloon over here so you can see the difference in height. Again, I'm not sure which of these I prefer. I think this looks a little bit more like a face, almost like a Nintendo Me face, whereas this looks extra cursed, and I honestly like that. But I think they both work. But yeah, both of these use the same sphere design and just tape it off at a slightly different angle. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope some of you do build balloons based on your skin, and maybe your friends' skins as well. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.